Hi, this is Marcia, and welcome to Module 1, Moving to Phase 4. What does it mean to move to Phase 4? Well, Phase 4 is actually the gateway to personalized learning. It's the first of the three phases that will get your school or your classroom ready to be moving to personalized learning. What I'm going to showcase in this module is how to move up, how to level up to that next level of personalized learning. And it all starts with using your rubric. So you're going to see me using a lot of the rubric, so you might want to grab the rubric from the folder, and that way you will have it and you'll be ready to go. All right, let's do this. Moving to Phase 4 in the personalized learning environments. The very first thing you need to do is do a self-evaluation to see if you're ready to move to Phase 4. What I would like you to do is I want you to go and grab the rubric out of the folders. Pause the video now and grab a blended learning rubric and a personalized learning rubric. Now that you have your rubric in front of you, I want you to take a quick moment and I want you to go through and I want you to circle the different areas where you feel you are. Are you differentiating activities with a playlist? Are you providing mini lessons? So go ahead, look at the personalized learning rubric and circle those areas. All right, now that you've circled those areas, I'm going to walk you through what it should look like if you are ready to move to Phase 4. You should have had differentiated checklists. You should be able to allow students to have differentiated checklists based on their ability and skill. You should be giving pre-tests that are allowing students to move through the content faster. If they get it, they move ahead. The learner should be able to pick where they want to learn. Now, I still put in my environment, if you're doing future ready skills, go to this part of the room, but there's flexible seating options. That way the noise is kind of contained to a specific spot. The learner moves to the next standard or learning target when they master the content. No more Friday test. They take the test when they're ready and they move forward. So in a realistic classroom, you could have students in chapter 3, 4, 5, and maybe even 6. Learner has automatic understanding of directions. If you are able to take a sub-day and say the students know what to do, then you know that you are in Phase 3. The students should know exactly what they need to do and what they need to work on. There shouldn't be really much of you giving directions daily. It's everybody moving at their own pace, place, and path. You are providing mini lessons at least 99% of the time, meaning you're calling students back and you're giving them content based on their learning targets that move them forward. You have implemented 20% times or 20% time project-based learning or Genius Hour into your classroom where the students are actually creating and developing something that they have a passion about. They're moving forward with challenges and those hook questions that will get those kids thinking and using critical thinking skills. If you mark this, then you're on the right way. If by doing that, you're also going to be increasing learner engagement. So if you have put in the project-based learning, or 20% time, you have automatically put yourself into learner student engagement because the students should be engaging with the content and diving deeper. If you have scored at least, let's say, at least you have almost all the Phase 3 boxes collected except for 1 or 2, then you're ready for Phase 4. So this is what I mean by Phase 4. We're going to do the same thing. I want you to pause the video and I want you to do a self-evaluation. And in this next part, I'm going to walk you through what to do to get to level 4. All right, here we go. So level 4. So level 4, you're transitioning the playlist or the checklist over to the students. So for example, when I'm doing the workshop, I will have in all the different modules that anybody can use. You could pick which one you want to do. Do you want to focus on personalized learning, coaching guide, or blended learning overview? So the students have the ability to go and pick which one they want to work on. Think about it as your chapters. Which chapter do you want to work on first, second, or third? And now that also means that I had to have every single module built and ready to go. So if a student picks on it, they have that content ready for them. Assessment and data. When I'm using the assessment and data, I now turn the power over to the students. And I say, okay, here's all your data that you have. What do you want to work on? Where do you think your weak area is, or where do you think your strong area is? What standard do you want to pick? So they're The students are evaluating the data that we're getting from these online programs to determine where they want to move and how to move forward with their learning targets. Learner voice. What do you want to put into your checklist? So I made a personalized learning checklist example for the week. They're going to tell me which mini lessons they want to attend, so I have to make sure I have all my mini lessons for the week somewhere posted so they know which ones they're going to hit, what module they're going to work on for independent practice, what digital content they're going to do. So is it module videos? Is it adaptive video or adaptive software they're going to be working on? Are they going to be learning through digital content? Then they're going to be talking about future-ready activities. Which module number and which activity did they pick? At this point in time, I'm giving them choice which way they could do, but I'm also kind of still guiding them until they have enough of different future-ready skills that they can try to create their own. And then at the end of the week, it says, did they complete their goal? Or are they still working on their goal? And then they have working towards. What are they working towards when they get to that? Are they working towards working on their 20% time, working on other projects? They get to fill it in. So again, the students are filling this in with you. You're not filling it in for them. All right, now we're talking about choice. So I get to know the learner. I have to understand what their passion is. So every Monday, I do a little data meeting with them. I'm like, what is the data from last week saying? What are some of your passion projects? What's going on? What interest updates? For example, maybe they are no longer playing soccer, maybe now they're playing basketball. And what is their goals for the week? So again, this could be a time where you fill out the checklist. This one is like ownership. I want to go back to this, I apologize. They develop challenges and how that looks and what that looks like. So we actually call it level up. All right, you're learning your targets and you're moving forward, but how can you level up? What does that look like? What challenges can you give yourself to do and go deeper into the content? For example, a school bought a 3D printer. Instead of just buying little or making little trinkets, they actually said, how could we use this 3D printer to make the world better? What did they do? They decided to use the 3D printer to make amputees body parts, like another arm, a hand, fingers. So they're actually using that to solve a problem. They challenge themselves. We have this, or what can I do with it? Classroom management. The students take ownership of the classroom. Yes, we own it together, but the students do this. They create the 5. There's 5 things to look at. Noise. Okay, if it's too loud for that learner, where are they going to go? What kind of headphones would work best? Over-the-ear headphones are great versus earbuds. Over-the headphones kind of blocks out. The students decide what they're going to put in for noise. The students decide their learning targets. What are they going to look for future-ready skills? What is it going to look like in a learning environment? What progress? What are they going to complete? So these are all the things the students are going to work on during that week or in their classroom environment. So I call it the 5: noise, learning targets, future ready, learning environments, and progress. Tell me what you're going to be working on and how you're going to be doing it. They're in charge of the classroom. I am now the facilitator. Make sure that we all abide by the 5 rules for the classroom. All right, now we're going to implement profile cards. We talked about this before, but profile cards are key to personalized learning. How can we actually take that information of the student? There is no quick way of doing this. It's almost like you're making an IEP for every student. What is the data telling us? How does that student learn best? Where are some of the weak areas? And I put it into a profile card. Now I do this once at the beginning of the year, I do it towards the middle of the year, and I do it towards like the end of the year. I always keep updating the profile cards, but I really take time to individually look at them. Again, think of it as your IEPs and setting goals, and you have to go back in and put that goal in there with them. The next one, I actually moved to level 5, and this one is where they're creating a personal learning network. So actually having the students developing a personal learning network with who are they going to go for to get help with? Who's going to help support them when they're creating these projects? Where are they going to go get help from? So a teacher, a friend, a family member, YouTube. Sometimes these students actually have good YouTube like followers or who they are following as their kind of their network. What other social media? And maybe there's something else that they love to use that's going to help them as their learning network. Then we're also going to be talking about how they're going to create a business. A lot of our students nowadays have so much technology that they're developing and creating their own business or ideas. I have a friend who's got a son who has developed a little business with an automatic dog feeder. He's becoming a little entrepreneur in the grade, like 4th grade. So students are turning into entrepreneurs faster. So how can we keep encouraging that? How can we keep them to develop it? Developing their businesses. Well, this is where personalized learning comes in. We can help them how to develop and modify their business. And of course, the role of the technology. Right now, we tell the students you have to use this program, Dreambox. You have to use Front Row. You have to use Prodigy. You have to use EdSite. You have to use Newsela. Those are things that we are telling the students how to use. But in phase 4, what's happening is that we turn it over to the students. They tell us which applications they want to use in order to drive their instruction. Kind of fun, right? So moving to phase 4 is really just taking a look at where is it that is on that rubric and where your areas are to move you forward. If you're still in phase 3, that is completely fine. Pick 1 or 2 areas that you would like to work on. All right, good luck, and I'll see you in the rest of the module.